Right. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Good evening, sir. We can hear you.
Good evening, sir.
Good
We can hear you.
evening.
All right, let us start. There is no time at all. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty Father, thank you for the gift of life up to this moment. We ask for the grace that this class session will go very well for us, that we'll learn something new today, and we'll become better persons than we were before we came for this class today. Help us, O God, to fill us with the wisdom and the grace to learn more and to be better. Bless us and fill us with your Holy Spirit in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
Amen. Thank you,
Thank
Lord.
you. Mary, seat of wisdom, pray for us. Now, our Father, Son of the Holy Spirit. Amen. All right, let us get to what we have for today. Today, we actually have prototype in our curriculum. So, but let's talk about the LMS project in line with what we have today. So, how many of you have created any wireframe at all for it? Can you guys hear me?
I have.
We can hear you. We can hear
Yeah.
you.
So, can you show it to us?
Okay, like, should I forward the link or what?
All right, I'll forward the link. Let us see it.
Okay, I'll have to take a moment.
Okay, who else has done any prototype at all? I know wireframe. It doesn't have to be for all the pages, maybe 1 or 2 pages. All right. All right, without wasting time, let's just start with what we have for today. And after that, we can go for the LMS project. But I'll still talk a little bit about the LMS in line with what we have. So we're actually going to use our small scale LMS system as an example to explain and explore the topics that we have this week. So starting today being more, we use this thing classes for Saturday. So the classes will then be Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So today we'll start with introduction to prototyping. Then we'll talk about the concepts of prototyping, like this thing, the low fidelity, high fidelity prototype. Then on Monday, we'll then start looking into testing for the prototypes that we have created. Then on Tuesday, today is Monday, sorry. On Monday, being today, we'll take a look at the wireframes and start creating the design in Figma. I also go through the designs that you guys have already created in Figma. Then Tuesday, we'll then start adding the colors and interaction to it. Then Thursday, we'll test it and send it to the developers. But in the meantime, let's talk about this thing, other topics. Let's talk about the prototyping and the advantage of the prototype, because it's not just the design of Figma to create the prototype that actually matters. You have to know exactly why it is that we are creating the design. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the main things, it helps us to visualize the idea immediately, at least what you have drawn or the idea that you have been forming up. You can be able to see it clearly and know, okay, this one is actually working and this one is not working. Most importantly, your client will be able to see exactly what it is that you were explaining, because when you probably explain to your client, you are explaining it orally. But then with the prototype, they're able to see it and get a better idea about what it will actually look like before it goes into development. Then that prototype would also reveal, it identifies issues early. That's any problem at all that is meant to arise. Maybe there's a feature that they wanted to add to it. Then after the prototype, they discover that that
So are you
feature will
still there? I can't hear you. Hello?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Continue.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yeah.
you. We can hear you.
Okay, I
Continue.
was talking about the advantages of prototype. I said visualizes the idea
Is it only
quickly.
me?
Then
Hello?
ne
I can't hear
the
anything.
next one is it identifies
Your
issues
network.
early. Then the next one is it improves collaboration. So in
Hear what
this,
you said. The advantages of prototype. Please, can you repeat?
okay, I said the first one is this. It helps to visualize ideas quickly. Then the second one is let me explain it once more. It helps to visualize ideas quickly, meaning that it helps us to be able to, those ideas that we have when we are probably engaging with the clients, explaining to them about the project that we are going to create for them. Then the prototype will be able to help them to actually see it physically. They'll be able to see, okay, this is what this person was saying, and also see the interactions with the product. The person might even ask for more features or ask for less features. Then the next one is it identifies issues early. In the design, if there's any issue that was probably added, then along the line, they realize that this feature probably is not good now, or it was not necessary, or there's an issue there. Thus, any issue at all is usually discovered in that prototyping stage. Then the next one is it improves collaboration. If there are more than one person working on this project during the prototyping stage, to be able to help to group everybody together, the developer, the UI UX designers, and the client too. Then from this prototype, we'll be able to gather feedback early before the development actually starts. And finally, to help to reduce cost, because catching any problem and solving the problem before it actually starts is better than solving the problem after the problem has started. So now there is something they call principles in prototyping. It's called the basic principles of prototyping. Now, the first one is one of the basic principles is to start simple. If you have to create any prototype, it's always good to start with low fidelity prototype, something like wireframes, sketches, can even be on a paper. You just sketch what you want to draw, position it how you are visualizing it in your head. Then later on, you can then create it out in Figma. Then the next one is to iterate frequently. Maybe when you are designing something, you realize, wow, that this font size here is too big or it's too small, or it's better to push to the right or to the left. Then this is called as iteration. Next one is the principle is while you are prototyping, you must always remember to remain focused on the user need. Maybe along the line, you said that this one is not necessary. It's better to remove one feature or another. But it's always good to remember that the focus is still on the user. Now, the next principle, the fourth
Sir, please,
principle
you
is
are
to
too
test
fast
early and
and we
often.
are jotting this down.
Okay, all right. I said there are The first principle is to start simple.
You're jotting it down.
The
Sorry,
first
sir. You're too fast.
principle, all right, I'll try to be slower now. The first principle is to start simple. In creating prototype, you start simple with low fidelity. Even something like wireframes, even paper wireframes. Someone actually sends a wireframe to me about a login page. So that's how we start in UI UX. That doesn't mean that you must start with paper this thing prototype, but it means you can start with at least a low fidelity distance. So you don't have to start spending too much energy creating a high fidelity prototype, which will take time. Then eventually there are certain features you might have to change and start iterating on it again when in high fidelity. So it's always good to iterate in low fidelity, then conclude with high fidelity. The next principle is to iterate frequently. That's regular iteration. Because prototyping itself is an iterative progress. So it means that you continue iterating on it. You continue going back to make sure that it's still okay, it's still focused on the main aim. That's the aim of this thing, for example. Let me take our elements, for example. The aim of our elements is what? To have to have a place where all the students can be able to, first and foremost, access the course that they registered for and other courses, submit assignments, get feedback. That's in that hierarchy. So the main aim is that along the line, we should, while designing it, we'll have to focus on what is the aim of this. Then you should also have that same distance, the contribution page, which is also very important, so that people can be able to see exactly what you are created. So that's the iteration stage. Along the line, you're making sure, okay, is this okay? What's the next stage? Are we missing anything? Who are the users? Along the line, as we are designing this thing, have we deviated from the focus, the main aim of this project? Mustn't be the only for elements. Let me use another example, something like a teller now, for example, he has a new website that he has created. Now, the aim of that website is actually for his customers to be able to see, okay, when they log in, they'll see the progress of their clothes. They are going to come on Tuesday to pick it up, then it's ready. Then you also want to use that as a place to advertise other products. Then along the line, while creating, maybe while he was working with the designer forgot about the main customers that are actually supposed to come and see the features of that, the progress of the clothes that they have already ordered. Now, the main thing that they are only seeing is advertisement of the clothes that the teller has. So it's that very shifting away from the main aim of the product. So that's why the iteration is with why you're iterating. You'll also be gathering feedback from the clients and from the user to make sure that you're still on point. Now, the next one is to focus on the user need. I think I covered that one in the iteration. It means that you have to keep remaining focused on what the problem is and what you're about, the main thing that you want to solve, the main problem that you want to solve. The next one is to test early and often. While you're prototyping, you have to test early. You don't have to create everything at once and then start testing it. When you create one, you test. You create another one, you test. You make sure everything is flowing very well. Then the next and the last one is interactive design. While you're designing a prototype, it has to be interactive, something that, for example, if there is a button to be clicked, when they click on that button, how it will happen in the prototyping stage should be the same or very similar to what the developers will actually develop in that project. For example, if when you are designing this thing, it has to be interactive so that when the person will click, let me say on a checkout page, the person knows that on a buying page, on the buy button, from the buy button, you go to maybe description and checkout, and from the checkout, you go to confirmation page, and then go back. So at least the person has to see something like this, not that has to be interactive. The person will know, okay, if I actually press this button actually works, instead of being in mind that maybe it will work, maybe it will not work. No. When they have completed the project, then you will find out. It's best to make it as interactive as possible so it can engage the users. This way, they'll give you a better feedback on the product. So let me go through it one more time. The first one is you start simple, especially with something like a low fidelity prototype. Next one is you iterate frequently. The next one is you focus on the user needs. Next one is you test early and often. And the next one is you make the design interactive. Now, there are a lot of laws in UI UX. That's the fundamental laws of UI UX design. But there are mainly 5 laws. There are other ones, but these 5 ones are the most common one. Means important. Most of them are important. But these are the most common one used in the industry today. First one is Hicks law, then Fick's law, then Gauss principle, Miller's law, and the law of proximity. You get that?
So please, can you spell?
Come again, sir.
No, sir. Sir, please tell me again.
Okay. I said there are 5 laws, fundamental laws in UI UX. There are many, but these 5 are the most common one used. The first one is this Hicks law, Hicks. I'll still drop the notes after the class. The second one is Fick's law. Then the third one is Gauss principle, GESTALT. Well, guess out. Principles. Next one is Miller's law, and finally, the 5th one is law of proximity. Now, Hicks law. Hicks law states that the time it takes for a user to make a decision increases with the number of options available. So, for example, if you want a user to click on maybe on the enroll button, then instead of putting only the enroll button, they start adding enroll for UI UX, enroll for graphic design, enroll for front end, enroll for back end. There are so many buttons there, but just the main aim is on that page, you want the user to enroll. So instead of adding all the different courses, you summarize it since all of them are still to enroll, you put it there as one button. So when the user clicks on it, the user will enroll for that course and then see other options there. This way, there are not so many things there for the user to choose from. It's just one option there. So you get that one. Yes.
No,
Now,
no,
what's
sir.
an
Your
example?
voice
No,
is
sir.
just cracking.
Mike, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. I said the Hicks law states that for a user to make a decision, the time it takes for a user to make a decision increases with the number of options available. So this means that in order for a user to just click on buy, you have to reduce the number of buttons there for the user to actually click on. If you want a user to make a decision quicker, you reduce the amount of options there for him or her to click on. Now, an example of this is used in something like in navigation. You just have something like, say, products, services, and about us. Instead of writing down all the whole products and all the services available, you summarize them on products. Then the user will click on the product and see it. It might have something like a drop-down menu. Then when the user will click on the product, then the whole, maybe a list of the products available come out. The same thing with services and about us. Or when, yeah, like the example I used before about enrolling. If you want a user that have come to the LMS website now to enroll for the LMS, that's for this tech program, you add just one button there saying enroll. So when the user will then click on it, the user will be redirected to the enrollment page. But if you add something like enroll for UI UX, enroll for graphic design, enroll for front end, enroll for back end, the options there are many. So it will take the user a long time, and the person might just decide to scroll to the next page and see what is there instead of enrolling there. So that's the law for Hicks law. Then the next law is Fick's law. Fick's law states that The time required to move to a target depends on the size of the target and the distance from the user. This means that if you are you get that.
No, sir, we didn't get. Sir, please, can you spell the law?
Okay. Is it the first one, the Hicks law? Hicks law is Hicks.
Sir, we got that on the second one.
Okay, Fitt's law, Fitts.
Okay, sir, please, you can carry on.
All right. Fitt's law states that the time required to move to a target depends on the size of the target and the distance from the user. Something like a button now. A button should be designed that has clickable elements like button. They should be big enough such that and easy to tap on, such that when a user is on a site, person will be able to see it and locate the button easily. It won't be, let me say the button won't be hidden among, or the button won't be grouped in something like a paragraph that is one side. It should be out prominent enough such that immediately the user is going through the site. It's something that will catch the person's attention immediately. This will also make it easier and accessible for the user to click it. Now, what will make that thing easy and accessible is the size of that button, where it is placed on the screen. Will depend on how fast the user will be able to click on it and make the decision. Something like a submit button in a form is usually placed at the end of the field. At the end of the fields, that's all the options that the user has to fill. Now, immediately after that, the user is expecting to see something like the submit button after the form. Now, when the person gets to the end and the person doesn't see the submit button, the person will have to go and start looking for where it is. So that's what this law is about, that it should be placed where the user can see it and access it easily. Now, the third law is Gast principle, or Gestalt principle. The spelling is Gestalt. You get that one. Gestalt.
Yes, sir.
Now, Gauss principle. The principle describes how users perceive and organize visual elements are grouped into wholes. That's to say, for example, if a user is, so if someone is browsing through a collection or a menu, person is expecting something, maybe snacks will be one place, then maybe local dishes, then foreign dishes, then special, maybe drinks in a different distance. Now, when you start mixing all the whole menu all together, the user will find it difficult to be able to visually organize everything together. Or another example is, let me say, in typography, for example, if you are creating
So I've stopped hearing you, sir. I've stopped hearing you.
We can't hear you, sir. We are not
Same
hearing
here.
you.
We can't hear you.
Sir, are you there?
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Can you hear us?
I don't think he's still online. He's
Maybe he
not
was
online.
kicked.
Maybe network have logged him out. No.
So can someone spell that third law? Is it
Okay.
gas what,
G-E-S-T-A-L-T.
please? Can someone spell it?
G-E-S-T-A-L-T. You get that one? Have you written it? The Gauss law states that users perceive and organize visual elements into group or wholes. The main principles are proximity, that objects close to each other are perceived as related. So if there are objects that are related, it's good to group them together. Then similar items will always be perceived as items of the same group. That's to say, the font, if you're using a specific font now for body, if you go to underline and use it as heading, that heading will be perceived to be part of the body of the paragraph, not a heading. Then another one is another principle of the Gauss principle is that's a sub-principle is the closure, that users tend to feel missing parts of any design that they perceive as a complete shape or image. Can you hear me? Now the main application is okay. The main application is to group things in similar colors. For example, if you have a heading, people in program might know this one, something like H1 or H2, they will all be colored maybe in a dark blue color, then the body of the content to be dark gray. That's just an example. This way, once a reader is reading through it, the person can know, okay, this one is the heading, this is the body. Then emphasis can then be made to be a bold font. Now, the fourth law is Miller's law. Miller's law states that the average person can only hold about plus or minus 2 pieces of information in their working memory at a time. Fourth one is Miller's law. Have you written it?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now the application states that first one is to chunk information. That's break down complex information into smaller, manageable chunks. This way to not overwhelm the user. Then another one is to limit the choices. That's interfaces that will only present a few options or piece of information at a time. That's why you have something like carousel on a website. You see maybe few images, then with an arrow indicating that there are more images. If the user wants, the user can then scroll and see it instead of showing all the whole images there at once. And that one is for Miller's law. Means that you just break down the amount of images that you give to a user to avoid overwhelming the user. Now, the fifth one is the law of proximity. States that elements are close to each other. Elements that are close to each other are perceived as related or grouped together. This means, I think this is related to one of the laws there. I think law of proximity, that Gauss principle. Now, it states that now the main application of the law of proximity is that itself means that related elements should be placed together so that their relationship will be easier to make the interface, that's the application, more easier and fun to use. Also, is used to create visual hierarchies in any distance, in a content, so that once the person is going through it, the person knows exactly where the person is in a page. For example, now on a product page, you place the product image, price, and add cart button together to signify that all these things are in one group. There's something I call product card. I think, have David taught you guys about it in Figma? You can just write yes or no in the chat. Can you guys hear me? Have you thought about creating something like product card? Okay, I think we'll have to do that today. So something like a product card, maybe in AliExpress, if any of you have gone to the site, or Jumia. Inside, they'll have something like a card or a box. Then you get the picture or image of that product. Then after the image, you get maybe the product name, the price, then a button indicating to add to cart or to buy. And some option product card, we even have something like learn more to see description of the image. Now, these laws that I mentioned, the Hicks law, Fitts law, a Gauss law, that's Gauss principles, Miller's law, and law of proximity. These are there are other laws, but these ones are the main laws that is usually used in UI UX. Now, when it comes to creating this thing, I've talked about creating this thing, how to create effective prototype, just to be clear and simple as possible. Back in, I think, a few years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, I remember once you're on any website, you look and look and look, as in there are so many things on one page, so many. Back then, I think now they call that design brutalism. There are those flood different text, typography, and images in one particular website. But now, everything is being made to be very clear, very simple, and succinct as possible. So, effective is very similar to what I mentioned in the advantages of prototype. The key elements are what? Simplicity and clarity, interactivity. These are the center design, scalability, visual hierarchy, speed and efficiency. So I think it's time, it's just the same thing that I've said in the advantages. So let's go to this thing, Figma, and see this thing, the LMS. Somebody dropped a link for us. Let us go through what person put. Are you guys with me? I would like to.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, for the LMS project, I know I'm actually still thinking on how to go about it, because some people, they don't actually have laptop to participate as to create the Figma prototypes on wireframe. It's adding people to group. I don't know how. So what are your suggestions in it? So I'd like to hear from you guys. Just go to chat and write this thing. If once, how do you think you should go about it in creating a group? Okay. So this is just for the wireframes that we are going to create, because we'll have to do this thing very soon. Sharing my screen now. Can you guys see it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm seeing it now.
Yes, I
Can
can
you
see
see
it.
it? All right.
Yes, sir.
So for the elements, we are going to start with the home page. These are the pages that we'll create actually. It's supposed to be something that is very complex, but we are trying to make it as simple as possible so that we can finish it and send it to the front end. At least it's something that can be done before the end of the program. Then other features will still be added on later on. We'll start with the home page. This is just a section map. Some things that will be added in it. It mustn't be exactly like this. So in the home page, we'll have navigation. That's the nav bar. That one will be constant. So I not go into details in it. And the footer, it will all be the same thing throughout. Then the login page, you have email, phone number, password. Then you have an option to sign in with Google. That's Google sign in. Then an option for if you forgot password option. So the person can reset the password. Then links to social media. And the next one is the sign up page. You will go to this thing, multi-live page. Then you get this thing, the enrollment details there. Then I think it has something. Then no, there's nothing like this option, the password, but there's something like phone number. You can add Google sign in there, but we still need the enrollment details. Now, let me know if I have this thing, picture of the sign-in page. So this is the sign-in page. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is what it has: full name, email, phone number, state of residence. This is what the enrollment page here should contain in this sign-up page here. Then we then add, but from this thing here, if you look at this page, you see there is no password there. We want to add password and to still have the same enroll now. Then you then have an option if you have already enrolled before to go back to the login page. Then that's part of the interaction that we are going to create as UI UX designers to avoid that frustration of the person reloading the page and going to home page to start logging in again. So we'll create that button there. Then the next one is courses. Does the same thing, have something like navigation bar, which is constant. So we only design that one once. This guy, did he teach you people? David, did he teach you about creating this thing, components?
Please, sir, what do you mean by components?
Okay. Don't worry, I'll explain it to you very soon in the Figma. Component is creating something like variables so that I don't know how to explain it. In this thing, front end, in programming, there's something like called variable and constants. Variable, you can still call up a variable and change it, but it's already saved in the system. So that component is mainly what UI UX designers will create so that when developers come, because most times, most features that are created are just repeated and certain things are altered in it, like a product card now. A product card is the same size, then to have the same size for the image. Now in the option on that image, in each variant, that's a variant of the components. You can change the image there, change the price name, change the distance, the price name, that's image, price name, and product name. That's just what a component is. An example, but you see, it's not a hard distance at all. You get to know more about it very soon. So the first one is you have the course name, course description, then the number of weeks. And this place here is something like a product card now, but it will be a course card. And to have something like an image of the course, the graphic designers are going to provide us with the image. Then to have maybe number of weeks that we went in this course, that's 8 weeks. If we have gotten maybe 5 or 6 notes in PDF format or other resources, we write it there. Then number of videos and links. then we can actually reduce it. Something that will iterate on. If the information being placed on the product card is too much, we'll reduce it. Then the concluding note after this course is what next? Is there an advanced course? What's the best? After taking maybe something like UI UX, which class is best to take next? Is it front end, back end? Just suggestion like that. Then in the end of it, we'll have a button saying, okay, this for year one, maybe that's as we're in 2024 now, maybe 2025. By then the elements have started growing too, and our courses are grown. In this tech program, I've gone further than it is now. Maybe after 5 years, we'll have other courses here. Then maybe someone wants to just go through and see, maybe compare one or two things of this course. Person can click on year one and go back and see it, or the person being maybe something, let me say like in the year 2027 now, someone can click on 2026 and 20, what times? In the year 2027, for example, if somebody is viewing something like 2026 course, maybe due to the software is there, the person might be using 2026 course to learn. Maybe along the line, the person will say, okay, let me check what they have in 2025. Instead of going back to the home page and going to look for a way to navigate to the 2025, the person will have the option, just one click here. Person go to the 2025 or 2027. Then archive courses, that's the courses that will no longer be coming out here again. Maybe due to the software used that was being used is no longer there, or for other reasons. Then help, we'll have an option for help. Maybe it doesn't have to be a button, it might be a button, it's up to you to design it. Then the help button there, the help option is in case someone in the course has it, maybe the person needs help. For any reason the person will need any help, we need the option. Yes, so the person will be directed to get the help the person needs. Then in the about, is there any question in this thing? Any question about courses?
I don't think so. We are just following what you're showing us, sir. I don't think there's a question now.
All right. Then in the about page, I'll still drop this image for you guys on the group. Then the about page, we have that's the standard about page. You have mission, vision, then credit. Credit our founder, Father Mbaka, then admin, chairman, and moderator. Then donors, there are people that are actually sponsoring this our tech program. Then we'll have them here. Then we'll have the teachers, then LMS and the contributors. The LMS, that's everybody in UI UX that is going to contribute to this project. Everybody will be here. Then links to our social media. This is just something that will be designed once as a component. So you just drag it there and put. So even the developers, they won't need to design it so many times too. Then footer will still be constant. The next one is the contact page. Here you have contact us as the title. Then you get the email, phone number, same thing again, donor card here. We'll have, I think, 2 or 3 types of donors card. Maybe for people that donate, big donors, small donors, just it's up to you to design it. Then you have address as our location, as adoration ground. Then map, can just cut out, screenshot map. Just go to your Google map, get adoration, screenshot it and put it there. The message us box should be there. Then help, the same help button that was in the course listing, as is already a component, so you drag it here. Same thing as socials. Then this is your personal page. When you log in, this is what you are going to see. The course that you enrolled for, then other course options, then announcements, something like when your next class will be available, due dates for assignments, when we have something like general meeting. This is just announcement listing, option box, announcement section. It's up to you to design it in your own way. Maybe a button or an icon. Then when you click on the icon, it will open and show the latest announcement, new and old announcements. The next one is assignments. So you from this page now, you'll be able to know, okay, these are our assignments, this is when we are going to submit it, this is how we are going to submit it. Whether the assignment will be submitted as PDF file or whether it will be submitted as Word documents, all of them will be here. Then starts. This one might take time to come, but it's a feature that is very important. That is something like when you are going through the program, after week 1, you're given an option, you click on complete, your assignments will be graded, the mark will be added, then attendance to classes, all these things will be adding points to the person will be earning badges, and also the person starts to be growing high. Have you used any of you here that is using this app, Duolingo? Is anybody here that is using that app?
So this is my first time of hearing it. I haven't heard about this app before.
What app is that? That's
Duolingo is an app. It's used for learning languages. I think it's in fact, it's the best now. I don't think there's any app that is better than it in terms of learning any language. So the Duolingo, they have this thing, this app there, they have stars. That's the main place where, according to them, they said they actually got researchers to tell them, how can we get people more engaged? So after their research, they came to the conclusion that the best way is through this thing, that starts option. So it's up to you guys to know how to explain it, how to add the feature. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yes, sir. We are seeing it.
Okay.
No more. Can't see it again.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So after the starts, it's just, I think one Bible has it. I think YouVersion Bible. If you open that Bible by 6 a.m., they'll give you the badge for, I think, early birds this thing. I know they will give you a badge for it, then they'll give you another badge. If you open the Bible every day of the week, you get a badge for coming to the app every day of the week. This just starts. It's up to you to design it, maybe as a circle. I don't know how it's up to you to know how to design it. Then the next one is settings. That's to add or remove courses if you need help. Then if you think there's something else that is supposed to be here in settings, you add it too. And I think we have talked about the enrollment page. Then course page. Then you have something like week row, that's the course title. Let us use our UI UX as example. Then if you click, when you enter UI UX, you see week 1. Then you get day 1, day 2, day 3. Then the options to download PDF files and the video links with the assignment for that week. Then when you're done with that week, then you then click on complete. Then this complete that a person clicked on will go maybe as extra 1% or 2%, or just as a point or as a badge with this mark here. Go to that stars that I showed earlier here. This one here. Then the next one will then be this one, and a button. This for easy navigation. If the person wants to go back to week 1, week 1 will contain something like the curriculum, the requirements, the links to, let me say, Figma, and just what introduction, then maybe write up about the UI UX and explanation for it. Then week 2 will be showing, that's when you complete your week 1. You can then go to week 2. If week 2 is already, maybe we're already in week 3 and the person just came in and went through week 1, person can actually still go to week 2 when it's available. If it is not available, the option there will not be there. Then down we'll have something like those buttons that, in case maybe after the whole program, after the 8 weeks, the person is just going through, let me see what is in week 1. The person will then be clicking through here instead of waiting for each page to load, to be actually clicking on it. So this link here will be constant here. This last one here will be constant on each page for easier navigation. So that's it for what we are going to do in our LMS for now. other features. If you think that there's another feature that you would like to add to it, you can create it up to. You can add that one. So I think somebody gave us a link to Figma. But that's for this assignment. So I think that wasting much time. So that's it for our distance. So let me try and create one distance, one of the pages. I think I'll just create this thing, the login page for desktop version. So when you, yes, that reminds me, if you are creating the distance, the wireframe, create it for mobile, then for mobile first, then for desktop. But just focus more on creating it for mobile, because I think many people will be able to access, many people access this our course through mobile than through this thing, desktop. So let me change to this thing, Figma. Let me change to Figma. So far, if there's any question, just ask them. Is there any question?
Sir, please, which app did you use to create this? Hello,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. Is it this thing? This image
Yes.
here?
Yes. Sir.
It's Figma. I used FigJam. Okay.
Okay, sir. So what do we call the map?
Okay, this is just section map.
Okay.
This is just section map. Just showing different sections of what will be on a web page. Like in an about page, what is supposed to be there, then in this page, what is supposed to be there. It's different from this thing, mind map, affinity map, and what's the other one? They gave you guys one map in assignment.
User flow diagram.
Yeah, the user flow is different from user flow. User flow map will have something linking, like the login page, the sign up page, then the personal page and course page. You have something that is linking up all these sections together. So let us design one system in Figma before we close for today. But this my own design, that doesn't mean that you should not do your own. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So I will start with creating this thing, mobile. Let me start with creating a mobile design. So I'll press the letter F to create frame. Then I'll go to phone. I'll use Android large. Then next one is to create this thing, layout grid. And let's make it columns. Standard for this thing is just, let me just say, general practice. That doesn't mean it must be like this, but majority, as I think there's a lot that you don't have to reinvent something new in UI UX. It's just better to go with what people are already familiar with. So the standard is, the count is 4, then the margin is 16. Then margin is 24, then the gutter is 16. That's 4, 24, 16. Then let us create this thing, the navigation. This is just example. I'll press the letter F again. Some people prefer to use rectangles, but to me, a frame is better. So I know mobile is 360. So I'll just click on the frame, go to the width and type 360. Then usually the standard is usually just 48. Then it should have a logo. Our logo should be MLS. Just make it bold. Let's use Roboto. And if you double click on this now, it will just wrap around only that text and display horizontal. Then the next text, no, I don't think we should use text again. Let us get an icon. Logins icon 5. Let's use user. Just drag it in. Then I'll need another icon, hamburger. This hamburger is that 3 dash that I used to see on mobile apps. I think this is what we need for the navigation. Now, if you have a pattern of to move it 10 pixel, that's 10 pixel away from this thing, go to -10 to move it out. Now, usually, this app is meant to be, at least in the industry, UI UX, general principle is every clickable item should be minimum at least 40 pixels away from the next icon. So that would be -40. Oops, this is the wrong one. And the X -40. So now, think this is okay. Then to convert this to a component, you can click on this now, this icon here to convert it to a component, or you can just press the Control Alt key or Command Alt key, depending on the phone that you are using on the operating system. Now on navigation, this would be variant. This one that I've removed now, it doesn't have a name like this one. So we'll call this one mobile now. Wow. Now, when the developer will come, the developer will take this navigation and take the features in it and use it to create, and they'll know how they are going to use it. Now, let's just add stroke to it. Now, stroke is this line under it, but we don't want the line all around it, just under. We might still remove it later on when we are designing it. Where's my distance? Use something went wrong somewhere. Cannot find our user here. So let me just quickly remove the components and add it back again. In order to remove this thing, you have to do something called detach instance. I don't know why that detach instance is not coming. So let me just remove this one. Edit. Sometimes Figma used to get mind of this one. and 360, 48. By 16 is small, but it's manageable. Now we'll get our go to plugins. Now to get this thing plugin, how I got this one. I confirm, I went to the browser and I clicked on this thing. And you click on this with Figma. Then when the option comes out, it's always good to have icon this thing here. Icon generator on your Figma. Then when it opens, you can then add it. There will be an option here where you add it. So the lost hamburger stage. So let me add the hamburger back. Lost. Put the hamburger in here. Then the next one is the text. MLS, LMS. Let's remove LMS. Now when this, then you then click open it to ask you where you want to open it, then add it there immediately. So now this frame here, select everything. So it won't happen. Then Control Alt scale. Everything is now a component. Then let's name it mobile. Mobile now. Then to create a variant, if you hold down on the Alt key, then you drag an option out of the Figma, it will come out. Then you drop it anywhere you drop it is now a variant of this one, of the component. Then next option now that we need to create something like name, somewhere for name, somewhere for password. Then an option to log in with social media. Let's add text. It's welcome. Because I say welcome back. Person logging in most likely already has an account here. So code is okay. Let's get the text font step. When typography, normally, it's always good to go with multiple or four. I don't know why but it's a standard almost everybody is using now. Then center it. Welcome back. Yes, it's using it. Then the next option, we have somewhere for login with social. Another text. Login with login with social. Reduce the font size. In mobile, the preferred font size is usually 16 That's between 12 and 16. Then in desktop is usually 18 and 20. That's between 18 and 24. Then we'll add this thing, Google icon. Let us reduce the width to, let me say 40 by 40. Now then, I'm just cracking my brain what to write in Google accounts. Then this arrow here means display horizontal, stretch it out horizontal. Or I'll still arrange it. That's text. Press T to create an option for in this thing. For writing text, then write or we'll still work on the typography. Then F equals login the page. So now we want the login detail to start from this point to this point. Press L. That's to get a line, then stretch it out. Okay. So that's 312 is the width. So we do it again. So 300. Now this is for enter name and enter this thing. Password. So from this thing, from the technopreneurship page, the login in page, I mean the enrollment page, that's where you get, they use this thing, 8 pixel on the edge of this thing, the frame. So enter text, your name, you want it to wrap to the end. I also want this box to stretch horizontal, push it to the end. Then we open the frame, grid layout. Now, we're not going to use column. We just want to give something like 10 pixels. So, right, 10, push it out. Now, 10 is one full block. Now, when this thing happens, most of the time it will happen if you are using frame. If you click on that frame, then you click on this thing, clip content, should solve it immediately. Then click on name. We don't want it to be so visible. So we'll put it at 50%. And we'll call it mobile input. And the next thing is to create it as components. Touch on it. Then Control Alt scale. Push it down with variable. Then another one. And here with then. So this is an example of what the component is and why it's used. then the password. So to click on, okay. Let me say if it is hard to click on something inside a frame, if you hold the control key down, you click on it once to get easy to click. Now, if something is inside component, you can't move it at all. The only way to move it is to actually get the other components. That's to go to the main component, not from the variant to move it. Now, if you go down, everything is, I don't know why this one is behaving. There's, okay, the center here, which is the line. Then, same thing. Push it out like that. It will respond here immediately. Now, let us add stroke to it. Let's reduce it by 30%. Not the text. Instead of doing it here, we can actually do it on this and the main one on our component. So that's 30%. Now let us add effect on it, drop down shadow. Now let us see how far so far. To remove the grid lines, you hold Shift G to remove it. Okay, not too bad. Then let us create button. This is just how I like to do it. That's 360 divided by 4. 960. Height is 40. Input text. Just add distance to it. Rounded corners. I think we used 8. Yes, we are using 8. Then center and center. Then convert to components, Control Alt there. Then we'll call this one button. Then we hold down Alt, the Alt key. We scroll down. And add it. Now I think we have a place for forgot password. This one should not be bold. Let's make it regular. Forgot password. Question now. Click here. Now this click here is what we actually want the users to click on. So we'll make this one to be bold. And later on when we are coloring, then color it. We can make this one to be faint to 50%. Forgot this thing now. Now later on, maybe while iterating on this design, we might make it bolder. It depends. I think this thing here is too bold. So now instead of coming to change it 2 times, you can just go to the component once and go to bold, then put it at medium. I think it looks better now. So the next thing is, okay, another option. If the user already has an account, so the person can just go back in already registered. Regime load. Log in here. Log in here. But we want the login here to be bold and black. So you go down to bold and change this one back to 100%. I think we have help button here. Let's just do it. See? And 5 help. Mhm. Contact. Now let us see whether it's still aligned. Hold Shift G. Okay. Now let us center it. To center it, if you click on the element, touch on this icon here, horizontal, align as horizontal center it. Then this one is vertical, on the vertical line that's going up and down. Put it to the middle, and you see it went down here. But we don't want it here. Neither do we want it up there. So welcome back, log in with social. So these two here should be grouped together because they're it's all the same message here. I still think this Google icon is big, but we'll still come back to it. It's a prototype. So we'll have to be iterating. So the all is small. Things second. We just center it. Maybe later on we can add other interactions to it. Then we don't need the grid of the same. But we do need grid of this. Now this grid is still happening this way because of then go here, we can off it here. Then remember what you're going to do if this thing happens. You touch on clip contents. Over password, click here. Then this is a button. I still think this button is small. It is too small. Let's try 180. I think 180 is okay. So the next thing to do is to add some stroke to it or shadow. But we won't add it here, we're going to add it here. Remember, the width has to be 180 to avoid it giving us problem later on. Stroke. Let's see, 100 is too much, 50%. So now another thing that you do is create something like another frame. Now inside this frame, you add the buttons, all the whole components inside it. Our frame, it was yes. So now we'll call this frame here resources. For this one, let us add stroke under so it will be visible. Now to select only one angle, you touch on these four corners here. Then you choose which one you want to have a button. Want it only down, but we also don't want it too visible. Something like that. Then maybe add shadow to it. This shadow is too much, but we'll still come back to it. So the next one and the last one will be the footer. So the width as usually is 360. The height will be 48. I know 48 is too much, but we'll manage it for now. Then, what's the copyright 2024 text? Let's write C space copyright multi-life series. I think there's right, all rights are. Now, as Twitter is not meant to be good, just medium content. Now, let us get an icon for this copyright here. For them, let us center it and horizontally center it. Now, to get the icon, we go back to our plugins, click on Iconify, then I think I've done this copyright before. And let's just take this one. Or instead, you can just click on import icon. In our copyright search icon, then you click on the icon that I want. It will come down here. When you see the icon, you then click on import icon. The icon will enter that particular frame that you wear when you click on it. But this icon bigger. Wow. So let us change it immediately. 40 by 40. Okay, now we can see it. Let's reduce it again to 32 by 32. Still big. Let's try 16 by 16. That's okay. Now we call this one footer. Then we just select everything inside and turn it to a component in the footer. So let us take it to our components frame. Then variants. Now, instead of trying to align it myself, I can just press this icon to align it automatically for me. Then press this icon to push it down. Then inside the text, you align it once more. What is this thing? Okay, I cannot work with, can't make changes on the variant, so this will. That's vertical alignment. This is the center and the variant. Now inside here, it might not work to get it to align in the center here. Touch on this text and align center. Touch on this one, align center. Okay. Get back. Now when we get back to our footer here, it should have aligned well. We send it down. Give it stroke and so we do not add any color to it at all. No animation. So let us run the prototype for it. So in this thing, the design, prototype is an iterative method. So now from this design here, it's obvious that this login is too close to this. So we have to bring it down a bit. So select multiple things on the screen. Once you click on an element, you hold Shift button, you click on another one, and click on another one to group it together. Then this will center it. Just button the size. I think this Google is too big, 40, 40, 40 by 40. 32 by 32. And put it inside this thing. Trying to see what it will be like. Maybe to fill of lines. Habitat. Straight. And give it 30 pixels like others. Somehow different from others. Now, uniformity has to be the same. Let us go back and see. So that's like that. And something still missing. So I think it's the frame. Of this one. Yeah, I think it's okay, but we still need extra work. But that's just the idea. Somewhere, something people can actually. This is just the wireframe that we need. Then these people are going to get the images. I think today or tomorrow the images will start coming in. Then with the image, we then have our logo here. We also make it iterative on Wednesday. By then, we'll have chosen maybe one or two designs, then we'll then start linking it section by section. The login button should be taking the person, should be taking us to this page. The login button will take us to the personal page. Then from personal page, person can go to the course that the person wants direct. Or if the person is already logged in, the person can still choose right? So from the login in, the person can still choose. That's when person, this is the login page. When the person click on login, take the person to personal page. From personal page, the person will be able to find the course person has registered for. Or the person might click on the hamburger there once the person have logged in. Then the person can also see other courses without, before the person log in. Maybe the person doesn't want to log in, or the person have forgotten password. Maybe while waiting for the password to get reset, the person can be browsing through other courses there. So that's just it for today. So that's it for this thing. Is there any other person that has this thing, any wireframe here? Just on the chat, you can write it if you have, or you can say it anyone. Are you guys still with me?
Yes, sir. We're still with you.
Yeah, some of us have not finished their own wireframe.
Are you
Sir.
guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So, I think my network is. So by tomorrow, being Tuesday, just design at least 3 pages each. Just focus mainly on the personal page, home page, personal page, and the course page. Then courses and personal course page. Just choose 1 or 3, but mainly this one, the home page, course page, and personal page. Then you can add maybe 2 or 3 other ones to it. If there's any other thing that you would like to add to each section, you're free to add that one too. So I know I
Alright.
was from. Eh?
So are we to design it with FigJam like you did?
No, don't create this thing. This just rough section map that I just created to get the things that we might be able to do within the time frame that we have. Because LMS normally is a very complex system to include so many things, but it's not something that we can actually do within 1 month, or within 2 months actually. If we're actually going to make it to be a very good system to serve everybody and to make it very complex, it will take more than that months. It will take more than 2 months actually. So these features are just something that we can actually do within this short period of time. Then anyone that the developers might not be able to do, or any feature that we can't actually implement, even though I know developers, they are very capable, they are capable enough of doing it. But if there's something we cannot implement, then we'll write on the feature coming soon. Then before the final launch, which should be in, I think, 8 months' time, that's 8 or 6 months' time, most of these features, even more than the ones that are here, will most likely be included by them. So just design something like this, just this thing that I designed. This is just a rough design. So just design your own. Then there's this link, I think, just in mind. I'll send the link on the group this thing. So you can go through their sites. They have this, I think they used to analyze people's website. They'll analyze best login pages, best home pages, just similar pages that we might be able to use. Then can go there and see trending designs that are actually efficient and user-friendly that you can use to design your own this thing. So you don't
Wait,
actually have, yeah?
don't be offended. Like
No
my
problem.
question is, are we listing the wireframe, or we're just design the low is what you're asking us to do, is it to do the low fidelity of this particular job we just did now?
Exactly. No, not of this particular job. I just did
Okay.
an example. What I
Example.
did now is, yes, I went to the section to this section map picture now. And I picked login. In login, I took the sections there. There's a section for email, phone number, password. So I didn't even add this thing again, phone number. I only added email. So when you are designing the login page, you also add phone number. Maybe you can add your email / phone number. It's up to you to know how to design it. Then I added, I think, the Google sign-in. But in the map, in this mind map that I showed you guys, the Google sign-in is down. But when I was designing, I placed it up there because I think most people nowadays would just click on sign in with their Google accounts instead of thinking of password and adding new password. That's just my own opinion. So that's why I added it up there. Then the other option, some people, they don't like using their email to sign in. So they'll most likely use the distance, enter their own password by themselves with the email to sign in. Then forgot password, that one is a must. Didn't
So
work on the social side.
this mini this thing you created, are you going to send it to the group so that to pick it and start doing the design?
I'm going to send it before this course is over now. Just as soon
Oh,
as this thing is over, I'm dropping the section map there. So
okay,
just
sir.
pick any one of the sections there. This section map. You go to login page, you choose 1 or 2 sections. You are free to add other sections there. Just keep it simple, don't make it too complex. We design it for mobile. That's just the main aim there. Then if you can create all the pages, then definitely in the contributor page, your own name will be number 1 there. Assuming you're able to create all these things before. Today is Monday, so it should be on Wednesday. At least before Wednesday, all the low fidelity must have been submitted. By then, graphic designs, they have brought the images for every single course that will be added in the course page. Then after that, we'll then start working about the prototype interaction. Then maybe even before, while we're adding the interaction, we might have maybe one of the admins come and join, and we'll send the link to them. They'll go through it. So just try to make sure you send in your own on or before Wednesday. So that's just
So
the
you
assignment.
how to
Yeah.
send the after doing the
Problem.
design, just how to send the design we did.
I don't understand. Like after you have designed it on Figma.
On Figma, exactly, yes.
Yeah, yes.
How to share it to you or
Okay.
to anybody.
Okay. You can go to Discord and drop it there.
Okay, like I mean, is it like how to export it, how to share it from Figma, out from Figma to your system
Okay.
so that you can share it to other people like
No, I think
Discord, WhatsApp.
from Figma, you will have an option to do this thing. Let me go back to this thing, Figma. From that Figma, you have an option to share the link. Is the link
Oh,
is the link that you share. So can you see my own screen now? So let me remove these grid lines. Okay, I'll come back. Then on this button here, share. When you click on share, it will ask you invite others by name. Then you either click on this copy link here or copy prototype link or get embedded. Just click on copy link, for example, now. Then let me open on that tab. So when I paste that link, the link will open here. And it will still show me that same page because it has my login details. So it will be like, so that's just press the copy, just copy the link here. I think it's open now. So this is how it should be. But I don't, can you see it? So I don't think I'll be able to edit it. I'm actually edit it. It's still recognizing that it's still the same system, but it's also indicating that this is a shared link. Just something like this, or another option, but the link will be very important. Just make sure you send this link. You share, copy the link, go to Discord and paste it. Then here, another option you can do is this. You can actually click on this thing here, this Android large here. Let's rename it login test. Then we go to export. Then export login test. To export it as a PGM file. Okay, it has exported it. So okay. I'm coming. Let me get the image. Let me open it. Yeah. It's open. Let me see. Can you see it? Okay. I don't see it. So let me show you the screen. I think it's up now. So this is it as a PNG file. Can you see it now? Audrey, are you still with us? Are you still with us, Oji? You asked.
Yes, sir. I'm seeing it. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. So this is just what it will be. To be as a picture now. But the link, I think someone actually shared a link to us in this Zoom class. I think if you go to the chat distance section, there's a link there. Odinaka shared a Figma link. So if you go there now, if you click on it, I believe you should see her assignment. Okay, someone said she didn't understand the assignment. Okay, let me explain it again. In the assignment, you go to this section map. There are 1, 2, 3. There are 8 sections there. You choose personal page, login page, courses, and no, you start with home page, then personal page, login and sign up, course and course page. Just these 6 pages. Focus on these 6 pages. Then, if you go to home page now, you do just the same thing that I did. I used login as an example, but it won't take. Go to login, go to email, you create this thing. Login is just saying, what this section map is saying is this. Jason, can you hear me? Just, you can type yes there. Are you still with us, Jason? You asked a question. You said you don't understand the assignment. Okay. Let me show the section map one more time. Now, in this section map, I used login as an example. When you click on the login, that's when you are creating the wireframe for the login page, it's just saying that it should have a navigation. Then the navigation will have a space, somewhere to enter email, somewhere to enter your phone number, somewhere for password option. These are things that should be contained. These are sections there, what the login page should contain. Then to have an option to sign in with Google, it should have an option in case if someone forgot their password, so the person can click and retrieve their password back. Then, if possible, you should have somewhere that is showing this social links. That's in case the person might just decide to go and see our social media pages for LMS. But you may or may not add that one now. It's not compulsory. But you can actually create it. The developers will link it to multi-lifesaver because our tech program is also under multi-lifesaver. So this example now, this login page is what I created, what I recreated here now. Let me show it to you. Now the login page is what I created as this image here now. This image now, this is a picture format of what I created. So that's just what you do. Then in this section map, then there, I think the first one there is email, then phone number. See, I even made mistake there. I wrote your name instead of your email. Like I said in the course, that prototype is an iterative process. As you are editing, as you are working on it, you also be editing other things too. But I think in the components that I created, I used your name. So and I forgot to change it. So that's why I stole your name. But it's not a big issue. It can still be changed again. Then you get your password. So maybe in phone number, you can add maybe your email or password, or you might even write it up on top of this place, like your email. So in the link that I'm going to share, actually, in the link that I'll share, you're going to see this thing. Let me say the best pages, the best login pages so far. Yes, Aneke, you are right in your question. This section is under login section, but it's not, you have to design your own, you choose your own design. I'll drop a link, and that link, you'll see better design options there. You just choose anyone that you like. Or you can even upgrade it. Maybe your own design is not good enough. I can add your own, how can I say, your own flavor to it. It's just choice. Okay, just find one that looks good, that is okay. Then you have to design it for mobile. But after creating these 5 pages, if you also want to design for desktop, you can. I think desktop, just set the grid margin to 80. That's all you have to do. Then at least before Wednesday, at least you have submitted your own listing. Because as this guy also told us, what's that his name? During our meeting, once after this tech program, because many people have actually heard about this our tech program. So as soon as you finish now, you can write in that contributors page. Once you can even say link it actually to that place. So once they click on it, they'll go to that page, they'll see you there live. And they'll also see your contributions to it. So yes. So if there's any other question, feel free to ask about the assignment, about the prototype. You're going to create 6 sections, but if you can create more than 6, it's okay. For mobile, you can make it simple. If you cannot add all the whole sections, it's okay too. Now, while designing, I forgot to show you guys this. Now, while designing, the screen, that's the frame size might not be long enough. So here's what you're going to do. You just hold on it. So while designing, for example, in this login page here, this screen here might not be long enough. Maybe after adding other details. So here's what you just click on login test, then you drag it down. Now this one here, this option here is following any direction that I'm going because I clicked on this thing here. That's to align it to the bottom of the page. So that's why any width that I'm going, which is what it's supposed to do actually. Footer is meant to be down. So maybe you need to add other feature. Maybe in the enrollment page, there will be other things to add. You can then let me make an example here. Maybe assuming, for example, now this one is the enrollment page. I don't think we'll be using Google account to enroll. We want all the details as much as possible. We won't need this one. So in the your name, we're going to use this your name, push it up. Then I think the next thing is your full name. Your full name. And why is moving out is just touch this one. So your setback. Then maybe you have so many other features here. If you want to create this thing, just hold down on Alt key. Then you drag down. Also if we get enough distant designs by on Wednesday, we should arrange everything very well. Then to select multiple items, you just touch on multiple items like this. While holding shift, you click on it. Then you align it center to be aligned. Then if you want everything to have equal space, this view option here that came out with hamburger inside or ladder inside, touch it, it will give it equal spacing, 28 pixels. Then if you want to reduce it, you can make it 16. Now let me just double it so that I'll show you what I was talking about. So now again, I'll just, or another option, you can just come here and click on everything. You hold shift down. You press on the first one, then you immediately does you scroll down to where you want to press down on shift and click. You should get everything. Then you hold Alt. Alt means you want to duplicate. Then, okay. So now if I run this thing here, I don't know how this is. Okay, I selected the frame, that's why. So this is the first one. Let me start with this one so I can see where I'm supposed to start. I'm still selecting this frame. I don't want to get the frame, so to avoid wasting time, let me just do it like this. While creating the wireframe, before I forget, Try not to design it too much. Just make it as simple as possible. It mustn't look too good. The wireframe will not be for the grading at all. We're still going to add features to it, color it, add images to it, and then send it to front end. So this is now. Now it's not going to scroll when you're clicking on this. Then you go to prototype. Seems like my network is giving out. Okay. You go to overflows, you scroll vertical. Network is having problem. Supposed to happen. Sometimes if this thing is having problem, click on another thing, then click on the main one that I want to click. So why I did this thing is to show you maybe why designing a section or a page it might be too long. So it doesn't matter, just keep dragging it down and add it up. So that's it for the assignment. If there's another question, just ask.
Okay, sir, are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, what?
Low fidelity, just when you ask a question, it should be low fidelity or high fidelity. And if you can make it high, it's okay. If it's low, it's okay. But making it high doesn't, if I just make it low, don't add pictures, don't color it. I'll get the color this thing and the images to add. I'll show it to you people. I'll drop it when I get it from the developer of the multi-live page where you guys register. I think they use the color system, color code here. So we'll have to use that same one here because we can't invent something new. So just make it, leave it in black and white. If you have image to add, you can add maybe placeholder for it. Or can use all these AI images. But if you start adding image, it might make it to take too much time. So instead of adding image and decorating, create more sections, create more pages, complete the whole 8 pages once. All right. Any other question?
Okay, sir, the question, are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, for example,
I can't hear you. Are you with Francis? Are you still with us?
are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Okay, I mean in that Figma, you know, you mentioned that at least 6 pages to 8 pages. So my question is, when creating the frame, is the frame going horizontally or like it's going to be 8, especially the ones that will need that stretching, just like you just did the last one you just did. So I'm asking, when creating these pages, are we making it vertical or horizontal? Like, are
No, it
we?
should be on
Do you
separate
understand?
frames.
Yes, the separate frame, is it beside it or under it or under? Did you get
Anywhere
my
you
question?
put it. Okay,
Oh, okay.
okay. Anywhere you put it, I'll still see it. But you can just, it's better to place it side by side like this one. Okay, let me call this one. Okay, I wrote this one login test now. Due to it's just a test. This is the login page, just testing. Then we'll call this one enrollment. Enroll. Then maybe you have this one now as about page. And one other thing, when you're done with the prototype, you click on design. So you go back to design. Then this one will then be about. And I think majority might be using Android. I don't know. So I just used Android large in this thing as the frame size here. If you can see, I used Android large. So I think most phones nowadays will be within this range on average. Then some phones might be up to this size, but I mean, iPhone 15, but some phones will be there, but we are designing for majority. So here, majority will be in this screen size range. So that's why I use this screen size. Then this thing, The grid line that I used is you just press escape to remove that. Then I use this grid. The count is 4. Then the margin is 24. Then gutter is 16. Now let me show you an example of what I mean. This place here, this is the margin. That's from this tip here to here is 24. Another way to check the margins around any element, if you click on that element, you press Alt key, then you move it. So this one is not even centered well. So now you see it is 24, 24 now. So that's just how you do it. But like I said, don't focus too much on the design. Create all the section first, then you can start, create all the pages and add all the sections that you want to add. Then you start editing it to your test. Then as soon as you have finished editing it, you must not wait for that Wednesday. If it's only login page that you have done, you go and drop the link immediately. Then you create a picture. You can have a screenshot of it and send it and post it on your social media and tag multi-life on it. At least let me say when you're about to get employed, foreigners, they do like social media too much. At least they'll go there, they'll click on it, they'll say, okay, on so time, this person was learning this. Wow, this person actually tried. It's something. So when you be putting LMS on your CV and they go there, they'll see actually the sections that you actually created. So even if at least they'll know that you contributed to it, that's the most important thing, and the evidence will be there. So just try to create it. Even if you don't have laptop to use, I don't think Figma can design. You can use your phone to design this thing using Figma app. So you can just create something like paper prototype and post. At least you are still part of the tech program, still part of UI UX. Because knowledge you can't use your knowledge like that. How's that even to say? No knowledge is a waste at all. So try to participate, all right? If you cannot get it, if you cannot get laptop to use the Figma, just create a paper prototype. I think someone sent one. I'll drop that paper prototype and the grid just as an example too. So if there's any question, feel free to ask. Okay, the
So,
grid measurement. Yeah.
so please, the record news of the lesson, how do we get it? Today's on.
Okay, Withall is going to drop the link for the recording.
Thank you.
Withall should drop the link for us.
Sir, please, I'm still waiting for your feedback.
On which question? Which question?
The link I sent to you earlier, it's catching.
Okay. Is it okay? Drop it on the group.
I've sent it to you now, like 2 days back. Figma link.
Link.
Your own personal chat.
So Michael, when? I can't see any Figma link here.
Okay. Sorry, it's not you. Sorry.
You sent it most likely to David.
Ade somebody.
Yeah, that's Adetech. Yeah, that's David. No, once you send this thing, I will actually go through it that day and give you your feedback. So to answer this person, Kachi, you have to create 6 sections and more. Just take it from the picture there, from the image that I'm going to drop, the section image. Yes, Anthony Weke asked, are we going to redesign the login section in our own without copying? Yes, don't copy. Then the grid measurements for mobile and the desktop. Yes, I'll also drop it on the listing, and also the font size that you have to use for the desktop, at least for the body. So it will be uniform. You know what? Those, yeah, UI UX designers play with the typography there. Just the standard for this thing, mobile is between 14 and 16 for mobile. Some people actually go down to 12 and 16, depending. Then desktop is usually between 18 and 24. But some people use 16 on desktop. But I'll still write it down and drop it. So if there's any other question,
Okay, so
assignment,
sorry, I've actually done something before now. That's the
okay.
link I was working on. So I wanted to know if I was doing the right thing. So, but I'm still waiting for feedback. Maybe I will drop the link with you
I
as soon
don't
as
get the link on this thing.
I'll just send it to you now. As soon
I'll
as.
send it to you now.
All right, thank you.
All right. Now, if there's any other question, there's no other question, we'll have to round up. Okay. So let me ask a few questions. Let me just know if we are still flowing. How many persons here can still remember? Just one question. Who can list the design thinking process, the 5 of them? Hello? Are you guys still here? You know, when it comes to UI UX, Figma is just a tool to bring the UI UX to life. It's just a tool that is being used to bring UI UX to life. That doesn't mean that tomorrow that there will still be Figma. Figma might decide tomorrow, every month, everybody will be paying $120 to use their services. Then everybody will start looking for another distance. But the aim is, yes, it's still very important. We always need tools, but you have to know exactly how to design this thing, not just to make it beautiful. People that used to make beautiful this thing are usually graphic design. You are just to make something that looks good, but is usually user-friendly and efficient for the purpose that the site is being built. If this maybe it might be a site to maybe display a new product of a company. Now, the site that you're going to create for that is very different from the type of site that you're creating for an LMS, because LMS will have to be very simple due to what it will contain. So it will be easier to program and reduce this thing, the loading time. For example of web app is something like YouTube now. If you go to YouTube, every video there is inside a box. The thumbnail of the video, I think the name, the duration, then the number of views. I can't remember the whole arrangement of it. But that's just an example of web app. Then example of, let me say, something like a website. It will be something like, let me say, Netflix. Maybe there's just a page where you can go there and sign up and register for Netflix. That's just an example. So what we're actually creating in this LMS is a web app. So is there any other question? Just remember to do the assignment. Yeah? Okay. Just remember to do the assignments. 6 pages. If you can add more, that's okay. Then in this section, if there's anything you would like to add, any feature you think is is important and is also missing there, feel free to add it, design it, add it to that page too. Then try to submit. And once you are finished, if this homepage that you are finished, send your homepage immediately. If this login, send your login. Anyone that you are finished, just don't wait to complete everything once before sending it. So
Please,
apart, yeah, ask. What did you say?
I just sent you the link.
Is it on
You want
WhatsApp?
on your WhatsApp.
I don't get anything on my WhatsApp now.
Okay, it has not delivered. Network is still there.
Okay. All right. So let us conclude and pray if there's no other question. Okay, I think I've seen it now.
Okay. I even did the video. Maybe I should send it down after.
Ah, well, send that one too, no? It's part of the process.
Yeah. At least let me know the ones I'm getting right, the ones I'm getting wrong.
Like I said, prototype UI UX is an iterative process. An iterative process, okay? So you try it, if it's not working, you try another one. You might design something very good. The client will say, I don't like it. There's one guy that has a shop at Alberta, did all this taxation. So the guy is trying to go, trying to at least create something like an e-commerce site for himself. So according to him, the design that I made, most of them, let me say, I was using something like the new type of design that we have now. He said, no, this is not what he wants. He gave me exactly what he wants. The guy is a programmer too. So he already knows like the workload that is involved in that one. He told me, oh, no, I don't want this. This is what I want. So I had to go and start afresh. Not really afresh, yeah. Start changing things in the components to align. So it's an iterative process, right?
I just send the video, you get it shortly. It's well.
There is almost 11 at least. Let us conclude. So everybody will go and sleep and get ready to start doing the assignments.
Have you seen the
All right.
video now, sir?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's on my
Okay.
phone actually.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, you even used our logo.
Yeah, I extracted it from the Facebook page.
Wow, this one is good.
But I used the mini Apple 13, iPhone 13 mini.
No, it's okay. It's okay. iPhone 13, you can use any phone because I said Android doesn't mean that you shouldn't use iPhone. Most people actually, in fact, the standard is usually the iPhone. Why I say we should use this one is we're actually designing something that many people are going to use. So it's better to just scale it on the screen size. That's why I just suggested. That's why I used Android. That doesn't mean that I can't use iPhone, but it's preferable with its application. Okay. Someone is saying they were told to use the iPhone 13 mini. I don't okay, in your previous class, that's what I just got. That's the information I'm getting. You guys were told to use iPhone 13 mini.
Yes. So we can
iPhone
use
13,
that's what it means.
they are very similar because when you add the distance, when you add the grid lines to it with gutter of distance, I think gutter of 24, then difference is 15 pixel and 12 pixel. So the height
Okay.
doesn't even matter, it's mainly the width because it will still go down most of the time. So apart from that, the design is okay. From what I'm seeing here, it's very okay. So at least by tomorrow, before this time tomorrow, you have finished your own, all the whole 8 pages now. At least 6 or 4.
Yeah, maybe. If there is
You
light.
don't have to. God will help. There'll be light. So just try and send at least so that by next week, the developers will get the design. So it won't be that it's UI UX class that is delaying the entire project for everybody in the whole tech program 2024. So, but your design is okay. All right. So everybody try and start sending in your own design once your own page is ready. Oh,
Okay, so but I'll
all
just
right. What did you say? I'm not. Are you saying something, Adnaka? All right, let's round up here. Thank you, everybody, for your participation. I hope it's in the name of the Lord who made heaven and earth. In the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.